As I reveal my giant's monkey!
That's not as funny as you thought it was, boy!
God, I thought he meant penis!
I swear, the only thing I hate more than weaklings.
Hey! I'm speaking, soldier! Don't fucking speak unless you're speaking. What we're gonna do is we're gonna flirt.
The talk show at the end of the week.
Space is big.
Star Citizen Base.
It's really big.
Round Table.
It's plus minus 15 seconds depending on your oven.
Oh, it works. Hi.
Hello, peoples. We're here.
You're actually on time for once. Well, you know, maybe we should just start an hour later permanently. Oh, no. We weren't gonna do that.
Go back to our 5 o'clock time frame.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, have T.O. fucking fallen asleep in the last 45 minutes of the show again.
That's really good, right?
You know, what's old is new again, right? Go back to...
That's right.
What's old is old again in this case.
Well, that's... Yes. I've been trying to figure a way to reverse all of this, and it's not fucking happening, so... Whatever.
Nothing is working.
You can slow it down. Drink lots of preservatives. You can drink a lot of...
Is that like vodka?
No, I drink a lot of Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
It's helped me so
Way
far.
to kill yourself.
Yeah,
As
that-
far as I could tell.
That
Right
high
down
fructose
there.
corn syrup, your fucking liver and kidneys probably.
And your
Oh,
teeth.
that's
Very
all
interesting.
trash.
Science is going to want to study you when you're dead.
That's fine. I'm dead. I'm not going to give a fuck.
As long as you can still
Yeah.
play Star Citizen before you die, right?
That's
Isn't
it.
that
That's
right?
all that
We always
matters.
say.
Are you on
I
the
need-
organ donor list?
Yeah.
Are you?
Sorry for that person.
If you can find anything good left in this ragged pile of shit, you can
That's
have
gonna
it.
Yeah, take it.
That's gonna be standard over here now.
That person's going to be wired too, man. I tell you, they've never had any caffeine. They'll be bouncing off the wall.
It's I think it's changing. They're talking about changing it here as well, where you automatically on the organ donor list unless you carry a card saying you don't want to.
Yeah, it's a reverse order. They did that in over here as well.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to. What difference does it make? You're fucking
You're
dead.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Let them gut you.
Well, there's some people that feel that because you have that on there, instead of actually trying to save you, they'll let you die so that they can actually harvest.
Oh, what the fuck ever.
oh, that's a different card.
I'm just saying, I don't give a fuck what way.
I believe in a lot of conspiracies, and that is not one of them. In China? Maybe.
Depends on who's on the list for the part. For the,
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes. If it's the senator's son, then you're fucking dead. Forget about it.
Yep.
I'm all out of all out of gifts to give away.
If that's what they're
happened?
coming
Because
here
I-
for, they're
I
sadly
threw that
mistaken.
ship up on Discord yesterday, but there were only 3 people that entered the giveaway. Or was it 4? No, it was 3.
The odds were good.
Yeah, apparently, and someone won it, so that's that. But
What ship?
no, it was just another one of those helmets.
Oh, with the
I mean,
little
I
eyeball
I
sticking
had
out
to
of
get
it.
rid of it. I was like, yeah, I mean, I still had an extra, so yeah.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that last show.
Well, we gave one away last show, so I still had another one. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that in case you're here for the giveaways. It's just
What
I s-
giveaways?
Yeah,
my leg, Zeus. Yeah. Welcome to the
That's
show.
sad. This is it.
Few people actually
All
been
right.
playing the game at all?
I jumped on for a little bit today,
Oh, look.
just a little bit. Picked up some stuff. From what I understand, it's pretty stable.
Yeah.
People are enjoying it.
That's what Zeus was telling me. Zeus Omega. He was all
It is pretty
giddy.
good, yeah. And mission
That's
sharing
good.
works nice, and you can just Most
Oh, does
missions
it?
aren't broken. Yeah, and most missions aren't broken. I think I haven't had many that have just the occasional mission trigger that doesn't work. So that when you do something, and for instance, it says like go to cave, and then you go to the cave, and it doesn't trigger the follow up, as in that it didn't probably didn't detect you arriving at the cave or whatever. So the mission doesn't continue even though you're at the cave. And then you're like, yeah, you can't continue, so you have to abandon it, and then it's gone because you can't reacquire it. Not initially, anyway. But that only happens occasionally. I mean, most of the time it triggers and the rest is there. I've noticed FPS AI, freaking brutal.
It's gotten better. Yep.
It's actually it's possible that they didn't actually change much about it, and that the AI programming was there but just didn't trigger properly in the previous patches. But specifically that mission that you do at Korea, when you have to kill all these idiots that are inside, and you start shooting one of them, and they all run up on you because they hear, they're aware, and then they run towards the noise, and pretty much you start shooting, and you'll be surrounded by 4 or 5 of them a short time after.
Well, I think they put that in the roadmap as they did enhance the AI. So
Okay.
a lot of stuff is still around the AI at this point in the development, and it makes sense because they got to get that AI to work for the single player campaign, right? That shit's got to be on.
On what?
They have to be on point. They have to work, right, for a single player campaign, because you're the only one that's in there playing against the AI. So if it's not working the way it's supposed to be, it's going to be a horrible experience.
Squadron 42.
Well, that's good. It functions. It means it's closer. Zeus says the ship AI, if the server is fresh, is pretty fucking savage too. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. It's just the how long the servers stay stable and functioning is the big thing.
Well, the big thing is the core tech that runs in the base code of the game, so that the PU isn't going to be straightened out for some time. We should all be painfully aware that it will not be sorted for some time.
Yep.
But Squadron, it needs to be a cash cow. It needs to be. It's very important. So otherwise, none of this other shit is gonna fucking fly.
Yep.
Oh, where did he come from? Look at that motherfucker.
Right,
just
that's what I'm
zipped out of
saying. Like
nowhere.
they
Holy
come from
shit.
everywhere. If
He
you don't look at
teleported or what?
No, he was probably in the room, in the main room, but he heard me, and then he ran towards the sound. Because that's what you kind of have to do when you do this mission. Usually you could just run around and find all of them and tag them, run and gun, and that's
That
it.
dumb bastard just ran right by you.
Yeah, but right now you really have to, you have to start. If you start shooting, you have to be careful. You have to actually pull back again, because you can't stay in that spot where you just killed a couple, because you'll be surrounded. What I usually do is I just run into an airlock, and then you let the door close. They won't be able to shoot you. But at least you'll know for sure that you cannot be surprised from behind, because there's nothing behind you. So you're creating, a tunnel.
Oh, wait till they do that. They think, they're watching you and they go,
They go outside,
nobody-
right.
Okay, yep, we're going to send people out.
They take a long time to die too.
Was he dead or what?
Yeah, right. I'm like, is he dead or what?
That was Jared ending up his death scene.
Probably.
Macbeth.
Yeah, but you know what the weird thing was? I shot him in the face, and he indicates as if he was hurt in the chest. His face should have been blown off. Whatever.
Yeah. Still needs a little work.
It's a little work. But look at them do that.
What
it's
the
just,
fuck are they looking? What's he looking in the corner?
I bet
Yeah,
you
it
that
needs
door
some-
opening and closing is throwing it off.
It might be. Are they responding to sound? Are they responding to?
I think
Yeah,
so, yeah.
that's what he was saying earlier.
It must be because it's clear when you start shooting, even if you don't shoot at someone, they will start going there.
This is good.
Yeah.
Oh, did you just teleport out into the middle of nowhere?
No, it was a different video.
Oh,
It's
okay.
recorded. I
I'm
was
about to say,
looking for another
oops.
video. Let's see.
In his massive library of Star Citizen videos.
So
Well, record interesting bits. Show.
you have to remember, we're still showing him playing solo against X amount of enemies. How easy do we want this game to be?
Pretty goddamn hard.
Well, it's hard. It's already hard, specifically this mission. But if you go in alone and you don't really know what you're going up against, you're gonna get wrecked. So that was just actually that was my weapon that I picked up after I died. This is the second time I came in. It's just a pistol. It's pretty strong. It's pretty punchy pistol, but that's the new one. But
You understand,
I
I
remember that
really
I died
want-
here, and I was like, okay, I can find my weapon here. I can pick it back up, and there it is. It doesn't immediately
You
despawn
still
anymore.
want the enemies to, when they come around the corner, not to come one by one. You want them to come multiple, to throw flashbangs and grenades at you, so they force you to either be stationary or relocate. But if you choose to stay, they can force you. You know what I mean? So, I guess that's the second level of AI.
Well, they
Is
got
for
him
them to
moving.
work. Yeah, that's good. As I said, next stage is get them to working together. And I guess that's part of that working together with us. The AI being a proper co-op partner.
Yep.
An AI partner.
Yeah, so they released Human AI Combat version 2 in 3.7 and AI Dogfighting Combat version 2 in 3.7. So yeah, they made the changes to the AI, and it's evident people are being caught off guard. They're like, holy shit, these guys are a lot tougher. Let's see, for next patch, the 3D pathfinding for ship AI. So I guess they're going to be a little bit more. Well, it says it's in polish, so it's already done. So the flying in space, I guess, is going to be a little better. Let's see. Gunship defense maneuvers. Don't know anything about that, but it's scheduled. It hasn't been turned on or anything like that. Cover system for FPS. That's going to be next version. So that'll be interesting. They'll actually start taking cover, or better cover than what they're taking now. And that's halfway through its development. Yeah, that's cool. It's nice to see some progress, even though it's kind of hidden within everything else.
It's obviously not easy. I mean, we play a lot of fucking games, and some of them have pretty shitty AI.
Yep.
Some of them have pretty ridiculously overpowered AI with 100% hit accuracy and could see you.
Where
from
you have
like,
to turn it. They have to turn it down for it to actually be playable.
Yep, some of them that we've done were fucking ridiculous.
The nice part about this station in particular, in this patch, maybe it was already in a previous patch, but the whole hacking thing that people have to do here in order to get rid of the crime titles changed, right? You have to get the crypto key, you have to actually input the slot into the computer, and then you have to do several things to the computer to keep it going. You don't really have to. It's not like a game, but still, you occasionally it halts, and then you have to press the button to continue hacking. So, and that apparently now also triggers a mission for other players to prevent people from hacking into the system. and it has a mission like, we've detected hacking occurring in that station, blah blah blah, Korea, go there and stop them. So it's a player view. That's a clear PvP mission, and I've already done that several times today. And apparently, either people aren't aware that when they hack, it triggers a mission, or they're just stupid or whatever. But they kind of just stand there. They start hacking and they just.
Does it actually do that? It starts up another mission against you?
Yeah, it triggers a mission just to have you stop doing that. Yeah.
Oh,
so I tagged like
I was
3 or 4
aware.
people earlier. I guess that's why usually people just idle when they hack the system. They're standing there with Mobi-Glass open or something. I just killed all of them.
Yeah, there wasn't a mission before. You would just go and you would just hack it, and
okay.
Now I guess it's similar to the one where you go down to the drug lab for Twitch and steal the drugs and stuff. If you get that mission, then it spawns a counter mission to stop you from doing that.
Probably, yeah.
So that's kind of cool. That it forces a PvP element. But
they've been saying that for a long time, that was going to be the ideal behind the mission system. Almost every mission would have a counter mission.
Yep. And then if someone doesn't take it, then supposedly NPCs are supposed to take it,
or they may or may not.
Yeah. So that way you still have that counter mission that you have to be aware of or be ready for, which is cool. It's a lot of potential.
It's good. Hopefully it forces people to slow the fuck down.
Slower gameplay speed.
Right.
Not too slow though, because then it gets fucking monotonous and boring.
No. So
10 minutes waiting for the freaking hack sucks.
No. That's not what you mean. But
yeah,
that's not slow. It needs to slow down the motion. It needs to be so dangerous that you need to take time.
Yep. You
know what I mean? If you run, it's like this. If your character, the gamer that walks like this everywhere they stand. If they stand still, they walk in a circle like this. The WASD is like this to try and avoid bullets. If they stand like this, they should be tired right after a certain time. It should be preventable. If you stand like this, you shouldn't be able to shoot straight. Period. Right? But the AI should be able to hit you, kill you, even if you do like this. Because in real life, you stand like this, guess what happens? You die.
Well, you get pretty freaking tired, and that's something that obviously they've been trying to work in the what do you call it? The stamina system to prevent bunny hoppers and all that shit. It's all got to be fleshed out, because all that like old school bullshit from Counter-Strike, somebody needs to figure out a way to prevent that fucking nonsense.
Yep.
And like you said, the reality is, if you were doing that with a rifle in real life, moving in a circular pattern to prevent yourself from getting shot, you would eventually just get tired and you would end up dead.
And not be able to shoot straight, period.
Right. So nobody fucking does that.
But that being said, you don't want them to go into the gun and make everybody suffer for it, if you know what I mean. I don't want them to make guns unaimable. I don't want to guess patterns when I'm looking at down a sight. I don't have to look through when I'm looking at something 100 meters away from me through a red dot or through a scope. Even if I'm standing, I'm still gonna hit the thing as long as I have a long rifle. It's not an issue. Even if I'm moving and shooting at something with a long rifle at 50 meters, I'm gonna hit it. If I'm shooting at something at 25 meters, it's dead. It's that simple. When I walk up a staircase, my gun doesn't move like this. My head doesn't move like this. When I walk up a staircase, because I've practiced this, my head walks in a smooth motion up the stairs. Same with my weapon sight. It walks like this. I'm assuming that I'm a professional in this game. So I don't want I don't mind having dead aim in the game for the players. What I want is, I need there to be some sort of if you choose to have heavy on, it should matter, right? You should need X amount of headshots, unless you're coming around the corner with a sniper rifle, like equivalent to today's 50 cal, right? Just more powerful in the future. Let's call that the railgun, whatever we call it in the future. But we need to have the ability to withstand damage. And if they make a really powerful weapon, it needs to be harder to wield and harder to hit with, etc. But there still needs to be powerful weapons in the game.
Sure.
But if you run with them like this, with a sniper rifle, you should be tired instantly, because when you run with a big ass 50 cal sniper rifle, that's not the same as running with a very balanced MP5 on your shoulder, or a balanced modded M4. If you have a weapon that is close to you, modded and in balance and in a sling, it's not tiring at all for a trained person. You can do that for X amount of double-digit minutes, right?
Sure.
Depending on your skill level and how trained you are.
That is.
So, but when you're talking about a 50 cal rifle that takes the balance from here and way out like this, that should be penalized. You have a weapon that's too heavy for your setup, and that weapon can sway, especially if you move. If you're standing still, you should have aim with the weapon. If you can lean it against the door or the side of we need to get that system in where you attach your weapon to something, like a railing, where you can do.
The same thing that will happen here. They start pouring in all of them at once.
Yeah.
You can see it in the distance there when 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they all come. And I'm like, fuck.
They're coming for you.
And that's the thing. It's like you knew it's time to run and put yourself in a position that you can defend. And of course, once they get better, the option is to go up before they even get to you. Yep.
But that
I didn't have
that
grenades
is,
with me, but I could have just snagged one there.
Yep.
We're talking about Star Citizen as the fly game, but the thing you're seeing on the screen now is the single most important aspect of the game, and it's how does FPS feel. Even if you don't play much, you want it to not be janky. If you're running around on your ship, and you're fixing things, you're repairing things, you're running around in caves, and you have to defend yourself against animals, or you are mining, or you're looking for relics, doesn't really matter what it is. If you're farming, I don't give a shit what it is. You want it to be precise, you want it to feel not janky, you want it to be smooth. And this is the most important aspect that Star Citizen has to get right. It cannot fail. It has to deliver smooth FPS. It's a first-person game. It's not a third-person game.
Looks like it's getting there.
Hmm?
I mean,
This
AI behavior is fucking ignorant, though, right here. But it's just,
it's getting better.
it's a progression. So
It's version 1. So
no fucking soldier goes up to a pile of dead bodies
Without his gun drawn.
like this. This would never happen.
Oh, they were all eliminated, though.
That would never
No.
happen.
If you intend for them to stay dead, you move up shooting them in the head as you come up. That's standard practice. Unless you intend to take them alive for some reason.
Yeah, but they would, if it as close to reality as you can get, they would all take some sort of fucking concealment and wait. You wouldn't rush in. You just wouldn't rush in.
Unless you have to move past them, right? Sometimes
If
you have to move past them.
Right, but
If
if
you
you're in a defensive posture, which these AI are theoretically going to be in, they wouldn't
they're
rush the
gonna,
door like that.
there would be patrols going out, and there would be stationary patrols, stationary sentries that would stay behind guarding. So you would have patrols going out to investigate the noise, etc. And you would be people that is designated to stand guard at the specific areas. But that is only happen as long as command structure is intact. As soon as the command structure goes away, any reasonable, what do you call it?
Organization.
Tactics and organization goes out the window.
Rush B. That's funny. But no, we do not train to stampede, and absolutely not. And even if you watch a lot of the new close quarter combat videos that are coming out from European training sources and shit, that shit gets people killed. They got horrifying footage of fucking spec ops teams doing stupid shit and shooting their fucking partners in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Yeah,
I mean, it happens in the game where we play all the damn time. If it wasn't
to
for friendly
survive,
fire
no,
being
that's-
off.
That's
fair.
only if Eden's playing. That's only if Eden's playing.
she does it intentionally though. That's different.
Yeah, I wonder how many times we would have killed each other on Ghost Recon if friendly fire wasn't.
I have never shot any one of you from friendly fire. I have muzzle control 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Every time. Every time.
Remember, we've played Arma, we've played other games where, friendly fire is on.
Yeah.
So
I know where you guys are at. I know
attention.
where you guys are at. And I don't shoot if someone's standing in front of me. That's not your role. That's always the fucking problem, is the guy behind you wants to get the fucking shot, so he'll block you.
He
so you
wants to
can't
get
move.
into the action.
Right. He'll block you so you can't move, or he'll try to shoot through you. That is not how shit works.
Team tactics, like the guy up front is down and the one behind standing. Isn't that how
Well,
it should do?
It depends.
It's very
I'm
specific
setting
in
up
real
perimeter,
world.
though.
So if you have a guy in front and the guy behind will step up on the side and into him like this, locking in.
You
the
have
second
to
the front
touch.
guys, so the second the guys step back, he knows that he's stepping back because he can feel him stepping back, and they step back together.
Right.
So this is very hard to get in the game. That
Tap
would
on the
mean that
shoulder.
if the first guy steps back, he will have to be able to push the other one backwards. You know what I mean? So that would have to be a in-game function that a character can't block you. You know what I mean? It
And
would
if you
have
know-
to be an animation where you're pushed. You know what I mean?
And if you know you have a friendly in front of you, you never shoot past them because you don't know where they're.
No, what
gonna
you do is what happens is you move out, lean out, so that your gun is at par with their gun. So you're outside. You're not having their gun up in their ears or stuff like this. You have that way on the outside. So if he turns, you can see his muscle, his barrel turning, and he can see your barrel where it's going. So the only reason you do that is if it's in a tight space and you have to get more than one gun on a target or targets.
Yeah, there is a definite scientific approach to all that shit. I've trained a lot on CQB and muzzle control and who takes the lead and all that kind of crazy shit. It'll make you ill, but it'll be interesting to see if a video game can actually implement some of this. Because like you're saying, Tio, if you're side by side, it is okay to be side by side. It is literally okay to be side by side. But if I move, I need to move you.
Yes. So if the guy in front and the guy behind that has his foot behind the other, or his thigh behind the other, the first guy move backwards, he should be able to push the other character backwards. It just have to be that way. Otherwise, it's just another FPS, right? If you want tactics in the game, we've said this before. And we're going to say it again, and other people have said it. CIG, contact us, and we'll tell you what you need to do.
Dude, I just turned you on to the trainers that are training these, Spec Ops guys in Germany. They make YouTube videos all day long on how this shit actually works and how not to kill your fucking friends.
Yeah.
Because it's really all about preventing friendly fire. Anybody can shoot a fucking target downrange. That's not a problem. Optics are so good, all you got to do is be relatively close to center mass and you're fucking hitting your target. It's not shooting your friend when you're fucking trying to work in a confined space.
But you know what you can have? You can have a dedicated button to force move somebody, right? So that you when you move up to a target, you're not pushing them forward and unintentionally. But if you want to push through, you know what I mean?
Well, you see in some
force-
games you can bump into AI and the AI will move.
Yeah.
What is the problem with that with a player character? Creating some sort of fluidity and ragdoll that if I hit you, even if you're a player character, you move. Because
Collision.
right now we'd run right through each other, right?
Yeah, it's collision. Well, we still bump into each other, but to have it work efficiently in a combat situation is the tricky part, right?
It's
because you're not really in real life. You can feel each other in VR. In VR, you can't right now, but eventually you will. But in a game, you don't get that tactile response, right? You just get your screen that moves, and you're like, "What the fuck's going on? Who's moving me?" When you're trying to get that shot or whatever. So,
but at the same time, you need to have some sort of option to at least force it. So the problem is that when we move together in FPS, we're gonna push each other all the way. So it cannot be all the time. There needs to be, okay, I want to move back. I can't move back. Now I'm forcing my way back, right? Like a force walk or force push backwards or forwards in any direction you choose to move. If I press S on my WSD, and then force button, I'll force my way backwards, same thing, forwards, etc.
I don't think that the level of interaction that you guys are explaining is going to be something that they're going to be able to accomplish. And
no.
I think
to accomplish, they can make a fucking planets. They can make this work.
The thing is, the people
if they can
that are playing this game are not going to play it to the level of detail that you guys want to play it. Right, the group actions are going to be somewhat limited, and I don't think it's going to be to that level. Not to say that they can't.
That's the problem.
I think it's. I think it's where everybody says there's a certain level where you go to reality and then you pull back. I think we've that level of is too far. We need to pull back because it's a game. And
that's because if we stupefy the game down to simple, we don't need it.
I'm not saying that's simple. I'm not saying stupid.
No. Stupefy it. In my book, from what I expect.
You expect a lot.
I expect a hell of a lot.
You expect a lot.
I always expect a lot. That's the definition. But the reason I say this is that if you want an option around WASD, right? How do we still make it so that it's deadly enough to run up against somebody? How do we make it? How do we force people to plan a move and still allow the guns to be accurate? How do we allow somebody to do a combat walk with their gun up?
Well, no, that is valid. Those are valid things that we need to have. But the thing where you were talking about where you got to be together and you need to be able to force your guy to move back with you because you're moving back kind of scenario, I don't envision that. That's too much special ops type stuff that we're not going to see in a game like this.
But we are technically special ops guys in the game.
I'm not going to argue that because I've always said that in a game you are the hero, right? In most single player games you are the hero. You do more things than what the NPCs and everybody else can do.
I would think you're flying ships, okay? You're in a combat situation, flying ships. You need situational awareness. You need to know where your partner is, because if you bump your partner in the ship, bad fucking shit happens, right?
Yep.
It's a love tap.
There is literally no difference between that and FPS.
Correct.
If I fucking bump you and you're my boy and you're next to me and you need to move. It shouldn't kill you. It shouldn't rip your arm off like it would rip your wing off of your ship, but it should get your character to get the fuck out of the way, because you're moving for a reason.
Yep.
That's one of the big problems that FPS games have had forever, is being blocked by a teammate, where you can't, you're in a doorway and someone runs up right behind you, and when you want to back out of that doorway, you can't. You're dead.
Yep.
That's a problem.
There's always an anti-troll.
That's the reason. The reason for the you need a push button, so that it's not on all the time, is that you would have characters bumping into each other all the damn time, pushing what in an MMO out of alignment just by doing mundane stuff, right? So it needs to be an aggressive move. We can't expect normal people playing the game to have situational awareness. But if they choose to push the button to go through you, to make your character move, it's considered an aggressive move, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, they're choosing to bully their way through, and we can reprimand them for it. But I'm just foreseeing I'm foreseeing what the developer will say about pushing people out of the way just by moving into them. So there needs to be an extra level to it, where it's you're actually choosing to bully somebody out of the way.
I mean the scenario that Juntao provided is very accurate. I mean, there's many a times I've got stuck in a doorway because either an NPC or another player is there and they want to go in and they want to get the shot and get the kill, and I'm trying to get the fuck out of the way because I'm going to die instead of going for the kill, right? And I can't. So those are very legitimate reasons for a mechanism to help counter that.
Sure, but T.O.'s point is 100% accurate, because if it's an on-off thing, if it's on all the time, then there's nothing preventing me from trolling you by pushing you all the time.
Inadvertently just knocking somebody while you're walking in a city area, for instance, or on a station, and would that be considered an aggressive move by the NPCs, or definitely by the players, right?
Sure.
So
that's a tough one there.
So it needs to be like your character, for it to stay smooth, your characters move around the character unless you choose to force.
Well, they showed some demos of that shit with character movement, where the character was trying to turn sideways to cross the space.
They do that now, but very poorly. They're slow in reaction.
So they're obviously thinking about some of this stuff. Maybe not at the same level or for the same reason, but it's going to take some time to implement all of the mechanics, young man. All of the mechanics. Time.
Yep.
Which I'm running out of.
But, we all are running out of time, slowly.
I am immortal until proven otherwise.
No, it's not that we're getting that old. It's just that the world is getting
how to scoop up cargo.
crazier.
Yes, that is true.
I just want to play this game for a few years, and then the world can do whatever the fuck it wants.
Is this in game now, or is this more video? This is in game now.
No, it's a video, but I shot that.
Oh, is it?
It's with these cargo boxes, and you can just open the rear door and fly into it, or let it fly into you. Yeah. But the problem is that the mission doesn't trigger as you having picked it up, because you didn't technically pick it up.
Touch it.
You have to actually pick it up, first. That's the intention of the mission. So you have to go back and then pick it up. And then it's like, oh, you got it. Deliver it there.
So, Anyways, I don't know. I don't know if it necessarily needs to get as deep as what we're talking about, but it needs to. It really, literally needs to have the best FPS gameplay of any game ever. I know space sim, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. We are so far past that now.
Yeah. We are. We are. It's like it's the game that I've always envisioned and wanting to create, where it's like you can do everything, and because of the planets, because of the large ships, because of the stations that we can build on our settlements and all that other stuff, it's like it is literally a first-person simulation, and everything else is just dressing to make it that much better.
But we don't want a Division.
No,
And
that's
also
right.
not a
but
Ghost Recon, though. I don't.
yeah,
I
but
haven't
we
had
agree with that. We all agree on that, don't we?
Yeah, we want more than that, but the thing is that that's going to be a very major part of, because let's face it, we are a hostile race. People want to do combat. People want to kill shit, right? And then so whether it's our other players or NPCs or animals or whatever, you got to run around and you got to have a gun. And so that has to
It's
work.
a Division, Miami.
When you do something in the game, right? You want to be able to do it smoothly. Like coming up to this, it shouldn't be like, how should I need to look at this pixel exactly like this to be able to put it in. No, I just want to go up,
No,
and
it
it
doesn't
should
do
be.
that anyway, though.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. That's the whole point, is that it should be super smooth, whatever you choose to do. It should be intuitive and smooth. And when I come up to do something, I don't want to be forced to go through 6 levels of menus. So, if it's just, rolling coding or text popping up because I have multiple options, fine. But it would be okay if I was allowed to, do choices 1, 2, and 3 as a keybind, right?
Did you
Stuff
ever
like
watch
that.
the movie Firefox?
That's a
This is
movie.
old.
Oh, are you talking Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood?
Oh yeah, that was a great movie.
That's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. Firefox, he's a pilot and he infiltrates
Russia. Yeah, he steals
and
a
steals an
super fast
aircraft.
jet.
Yeah.
Super fast jet. Yeah.
And all of the flight controls are embedded in the helmet and it reads your brainwaves. But you must think in Russian.
Yep.
So, with that being said, Star Citizen needs to get the functionality, because they already have the little sensor halo thing that you put on your head to read your brainwaves, and get all that shit. So fuck VR, mental VR, where you don't even have to do the shit. You just think it in game. Open door. You think it, and it opens the door.
Feature creep.
100%. Fucking awesome.
Did you just explain Star Trek?
Yeah, right? That'd
That
be
would be
fucking
cool.
amazing. Probably not going to happen
whoosh.
in my lifetime.
They don't
but-
have enough whoosh in the doors. You notice as that series got older and older, the whoosh got silenter and silent, more or less noisy.
You mean with the newer versions? Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of toned it back from the ridiculous level of sci-fi. Now that sci-fi is actually reality now.
Yep.
Automatic doors. Think about that. And it fucking Star Trek was like 1960s.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many automatic doors were there in 1960? Not too many, if any. Maybe government shit.
Nah,
But in the public sphere. Do you remember when you first started
where
seeing
idea
the
came
doors
from.
at the grocery stores that opened and closed themselves based on proximity IR sensors?
Yep.
It wasn't that long ago.
Was it? A lot of the technologies we have today are because of Star Trek. If you
Because
look
of
at
space
they've had
program.
well, yeah, I mean they actually build a lot of the stuff, but if you look at the stuff that was shown in Star Trek and then follow the progression in society, you will see where they got that idea from, and it was mostly from Star Trek. There's a lot of engineers and stuff like that that said, "Yeah, I saw Star Trek and I wanted to do that," and they went and they built it because they saw it on Star Trek. And that's science emulates imagination. So when people come up with shit and they put it in a movie and it's cool and people like it, someone says, "I want that to happen," and then they go and make it happen.
But you can't make it happen until you can envision it happening.
Mm-hmm.
So sci-fi opens those doors.
Well, that's always been the role of artists and or any side. Either it's physical art or it's literature art. It's to expand the mind, and then it's the technician's job or the inventor's job to.
What's wrong with the other side?
To be inspired, put it further on.
Keeps fucking logging me out.
The RSI website?
Yeah, it's like
you're not spending enough money.
Just going to the next page in my hangar, and I was like, "Yeah, I've logged out. Please log in."
That's like a new fucking concierge perk, access to the website.
Right? No, it logs me out too all the time. I hate that fucking thing. It's like I don't understand why it constantly logs you out. It's a pain in the ass.
It seems like every time there's a new things for sale, it automatically logs out everybody, and you have to log back in again.
Almost like anytime you make a change.
I just logged in. That's the thing.
Fucking annoying.
It could be something Benoit's doing.
Oh, Benoit, stop it.
Nope, because turbulent, with their space book and shit.
So I was seeing the jump point. It is a lot about the road to object container streaming and all that yada yada. And wasn't that us saying last week too that we feel like we actually noticed that at one point that I feel like they dumped down some of the textures and some of the models just to get the performance
for sure.
working properly until server-side OCS is working properly. Because I think a lot of the assets that there's just too much shit in the universe already.
I think it was Morphologist that did that video that really spotlighted that aspect of it. When you start looking in really closely at certain textures, they get really hazy. When you're looking at them from a distance, they look pretty good because the LOD is the LOD, but does that actually affect server performance, what you're seeing on the client, or is that the client accessing data on the hard drive anyway?
It does affect it because it's the size of the files that it has to load, right? So if they're smaller, that's less data that has to be brought into the RAM to get it. So it helps with the performance to some degree.
But on the client side, not on the server side. Because you're accessing that data right off your hard drive. All those textures have to be loaded in the game files, you would think. Yeah. They're not streaming them via the internet. There's not enough fucking bandwidth for that, I don't think.
The fuck, this browser.
Love those glasses, by the way. Not. Why does everything have to be so goofy in the future?
I don't think anyone would be wearing them. They're
someone will always wear that. I see this and
I'm like, ooh, yikes.
There's always someone.
Yeah, but Jesus.
It looks like Zeus.
Could we take a music break?
How is that?
I need to put the kid to bed.
We can take a music break if you need one. We could do whatever we want.
That shit? Music breaks?
So, in some countries, it's a shame to have sex outside your marriage. It's a shame or a sin to eat pork. It's a shame or sin to eat or drink a lot of alcohol. In Norway, we call that a Christmas dinner.
Okay.
Okay, well, music days. See you in a minute.
That's
His
how you
hormone
try.
therapy is kicking in.
This is his way of saying, cut it, let's go to music break.
This is Jared Disco Lando Huckabee, and you're listening to
The Base.
I like it. I always end it with why.
Oops. No, not this time, though.
We're back.
Are we?
Kind of.
We have
Are
a
we
missing
really?
person.
It's all an illusion.
Are we really here?
It's ones and zeros. Those glasses are dumb.
Those more like protective
Sorry.
glasses.
Sorry, Jay Lee or whoever created them.
And those for underwater. No, what are they?
They give you the effect that you're underwater, yeah.
Well, it seemed like they're one of those hermetically sealed glasses.
Goggles.
Goggles.
Goggles or scuba diving mask. Snorkel. Whatever. The goggles I might wear. Those goggles are kind of cool.
Okay. What was it that we were doing? Hang on.
Object container streaming.
No? There.
So in the jump point this month, they talk about the object container streaming like you had mentioned, and the very first section on it explains a lot of the limitations and the stuff that they have to overcome to be able to give TO that fluidness that he's always talking about, right? Because it comes down to the frames. And then so there's a thing in here that says to achieve 30 frames per second, the game must perform all necessary computations for the whole frame within 0.033 seconds or 33 milliseconds.
All right.
To give you a fluid motion. That's crazy.
Where are we at?
This
We're
is
just talking
all
about
fucking sci-fi shit right here too. Really? 33 milliseconds. You need to perform all necessary computations for a single frame when you're trying to achieve 30 frames per second.
Oh, they demoed that shit once, right? But that was just the graphics build up of a single frame, like how the graphics
remember
would build
that?
up.
It's
All
got to
that
do
in a single
all
frame.
that.
But that's not all it's got.
And that's not all of it either.
No.
That's crazy.
So there's two different ways of achieving this, right?
Dynamite being one.
No, but there's two different ways. You can have locked where the client and server is locked. So if one is locked, the other one is locked, and then you can have where this client is free and it's timed. You know what I mean? So it just sends, here am I, this is the time, here am I, this is the time, etc., right?
And then the client fills in the difference.
Yeah, so it goes back and forth. So the server, let's say the client is, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm shooting this now from this position, and I'm on target. Let's say it knows whether you're on target or not. I'm on target to object A. Firing. Sends it to the server. Server gets an update, right? So you feel that you're on your client, you have a smooth transition. You don't have any stutterings of clients going like this either. They're moving smooth as well, if you know what I mean. And this is how they solve it in games where they expect pings of differences up to 200, right? So it's the only way they can make it work if you expect to be playing with really serious high ping. That way you're not locked to the server. The server can have a bigger frame where it can move. Now, they have gone with a different solution where the client is locked in a sync, where the client is locked in a sync with the server, and therefore there needs to be if the server goes slower, the client will feel like it's going slower because this client is waiting for a return from the server. So this is I'm not sure this is the way to go. I'm not sure if they will be able to make it.
I remember Aaron saying that the only thing that they're really concerned about is getting the servers to run at 30 frames. And then the clients will fill in the gaps as you perform on higher frames.
Yeah, if you are at an x frame per second on the server, you don't feel that on the client.
Right.
But I'm not sure we're gonna get there.
I think we will. They'll get the servers to 30 frames. They have to. I don't think they have a choice. Otherwise, the game's not going to be playable.
Server-side objective container streaming needs to happen first.
That's what we're talking about.
It's very different from the client objectives.
Yes.
Of container streaming. It's two vastly different things. Because we're not talking about on our side, it's more about assets that's supposed to be loaded and that needs to be taken into account on the server. It's about data.
Mm-hmm.
And not only there needs to be object container streaming, there needs to be multiple server streaming needs to be in, where there's an offload to different server for different parts that are continually talking to a main server.
Mm-hmm.
So, because nobody's logged into the main server, everybody gets a logging that is attaching to the main server. Okay, you logged in. That's it. That's the only objective. The main server will only talk to other servers, while the server you're logged into then does it works and it checks now and then, do I need to allow the vision from other servers to come into view for the clients that are on this server. That's the dynamic automatic overlapping of servers they're talking about. So let's say that we are playing on one server, we are out in the open, and suddenly we come upon a battle, right? That's happening, where there's perhaps multiple servers going on doing server streaming from server to server. Basically, it's like you're watching a video from the other servers in your sphere. That's the best way of looking at it. So that you have very little interaction, but you can view what's happening, and then you can have slight interaction and then more interaction, etc. But we come from the outside and we come on into this. We come from our own server, and suddenly we come into view of this. Suddenly our server needs to be part of what's happening here. Now, either there's space in this server and we can just be moved to that server, but if that server is full, our server will just connect to that cluster of server. That's where things are going on. And we will be then participating. And that technology is not there yet. So server streaming from one server to another needs to be in place. The idea of information being pulled in and out all the time, that is server side streaming as well. That needs to be in. So it's there's going to be so much things that I don't think we're going to see that for another 2 years, maybe a year and a half.
we'll get an update on that in CitizenCon for sure.
You sure?
Oh yeah, they'll touch on it. They'll tell us something. I don't know whether they'll tell us it's ready or it's a couple of years off or whatever, but I think they'll give us an update on where they are with that, because it's Chris has said it time and time again. Aaron has said it time and time again. They have to get that working to be able to get Star Citizen to be a game.
The MMO.
Yeah.
The MMO.
The MMO, Star Citizen, right? Because Squadron 42 is the single player. So they have to get that working to get Star Citizen. Otherwise, we've just threw all our money away.
But don't you think that they're don't you think that I think they're working on that on the side.
They've
But I
been
also
working
think-
on that.
But I think they think they have a pass, and that is Squadron 42. It will buy them more time.
It will buy them more
Didn't
time.
we do this before? Xenolinguistics, and you probe the process how alien languages are created in Star Citizen.
Last year.
No, yeah, the year before that.
Yep.
Because I was in Frankfurt and I remember there was a presentation exactly about the same thing. How alien language is
Cheerio.
created. Although now it's going to be Cherry and Britain and Chris Harrow.
I'm sure they're going to be talking about one of the, because most of it has been Xeon. So now they're probably going to talk about Banu, or
They haven't really shown us any other language, no. So yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Jean. Not Jian or Ji. Any other. Jean. Fucking people. Get some culture. Jesus.
Hey, I speak American. That's all I need to speak.
American. They wanted to know in the chat why there's two TOs and how all of a sudden I'm
Two?
not me anymore. Yeah, it's weird.
Name.
We need to fix the names.
Well, they only
But they're-
tell me that now.
Oh, it doesn't fucking matter. I
You're the
told him I
producer,
stopped caring a
man.
long time ago. Whatever.
No, not the
You're
president.
the producer. You should know that.
Just
I'm
like if
just
no one
some
cares,
fucking
then
asshole who
apparently
shows up every once in a while.
It doesn't matter what it looks like until someone
It really
complains.
doesn't matter. It's supposed to be radio, damn it. You're not even supposed to see this shit.
That's right. We're not a podcast.
We could just have this screen playing all the time and be like, okay,
There you go.
good old times.
But it needs to be more. Oh, it is animated.
It
It's
is
just-
a video, yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. See?
Where is the schedule? I don't see the schedule anywhere. How did you get to that?
They added that.
It's on the schedule tab.
They added a schedule
Citizen Con
tab.
at the top and then the schedule tab.
Oh, look. There's tabs.
Fucking
I,
hell.
should,
No
I
shit.
guess I should look for that. That would help. Shows
The
how much
adventure
interest
begins.
Right now.
Speaker Chris Roberts. Terra Primer. Explore the continuing evolution of planet tech. Terra Primer. Terra. Terra.
Get over it. It doesn't mean anything.
No, they're gonna
It's
demo
talking
Terra,
about Planet Tech, not
Yeah,
Terra,
Terra.
just Planet Tech.
but to display
Actually,
and explore planet tech.
Microtech is the next one after that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's the planet. But if you think about this logically, right?
Mhm.
Logical progression. Morphologist did a really good video on what he expected to see at Citizen Con and stuff, and apparently he's going this year or whatever. Big fucking deal.
Wow, Miami.
Last year, Chris said, "Oh, you see that up there in the skybox? That's Pyro. That's where we're going next."
Nope.
That's what he said. So I'm
Yeah, but
still
never
on that
happened, though.
train.
Oh.
Well, if you
He
think
didn't
about
say
it,
when.
no, he didn't say when.
He
But
said he,
Pyro, we were talking about this before the show started. Pyro is a really simple system to do because there's no hero landing zones. Zero. There's no cities. There's no nothing. There's 4 basically planetoids, and they're pretty much barren because the fucking star destroys everything. The 4th and furthest planet from the star has a
space station.
space station, and that's about it. An asteroid field for mining and shit.
Hmm.
Pirate activity, probably like underground bases and stuff like we've seen the implementation of at this point. Okay. So when you look at Pyro,
It's
where
one
are
planet, a cluster,
well,
another
scroll out
planet,
because there's
and
multiple
another
planets.
planet. Okay.
Look at the jump point. Look at the jump point right in the center of the screen.
Yeah, there's
Up,
one in the
up,
inner.
up. Nope. Nope.
What do you mean?
Up. Go up.
Terra.
Right there.
Right.
Terra. Stanton, Pyro, Terra, in that order.
Oh, we could probably see that.
Not
if I
this
do
year.
This.
I really hope they give us
It's
Pyro
connected
this year.
to Otto, Stanton, Castra, Nix. Did he say Hadrian? What else did he say? Terra?
Look, just
Where's Terra?
let it freeze there. Let it freeze there. Let it freeze there. Don't move it anymore. Just let it sit there. And now think about it. This is just an infinite small part of the star system we're looking at, right? If you now zoom out.
Oh, that's Terra. Oh, shit. I'm going to do what you're saying. I won't zoom out further than this.
Yeah, zoom out all the way. Just
I won't do it.
Get as much of this. It won't.
What is this shit?
So,
wait, I'm in 3D mode. There we go.
mm-hmm.
No, it still won't do it.
It should.
Oh, I could just do this. Screw that.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah. So, how long do you think it's going to take for all of this to come to fruition?
5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Only 6 years?
Not really.
Minimum.
Really? No. Because a lot of the systems aren't really habited. They have a lot of dead planets that are just meant for harvesting and stuff like that. So, again, it really comes down to what are the hero elements that they have to build, and what it is that they're trying to. Because with all of the modular stuff and the way they're trying to build everything so that they don't have to be in there building.
Procedural assistance is going to be a huge.
I really think that they'll be able to roll out a lot of systems quickly. That
dead systems.
Dead systems. And then the only thing you have to worry about is what are the resources, right? If there's any pirate elements, those would be the kind of things.
Yeah, but in theory,
you have to put in.
The planetary tech accounts for that shit because they just put in their values and they do some manipulation in Sol Ed and it fucking just does it.
Yeah.
This system needs to have these elements in it. It needs to have an asteroid belt in this location. It needs to have, the planets that they do all in Sol Ed. And then the tool builds it. It's fucking
so what
crazy.
They said was a planet.
What the hell?
Is about 14 days they expect in Solid, right?
Well, that was back then, so who knows how long it takes them to build the planet now.
The more they refine the tool, the less time they have to spend worrying about the tool fucking things up.
Yep.
Yeah, but then there's going to be multiple people working on this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they can spew out a system per 14 days. Still going to take a long time.
That's an interesting question, and I don't think it applies, Zeus. He says, does OCS give enough room to go from one system to 100 systems? And I don't think that's the way that works. It's the server meshing. That the server meshing will make one system function properly. And then every other system will be its own set of servers.
Yeah, its own meshing.
Right. It's not going to be any of that stuff. The whole OCS stuff is just to get the speed of the data processing on the servers and the clients fast enough that your game experience doesn't suck.
Well, server-side OCS is basically, instead of, when we think of objects, we think on the client, we think of it as
textures and shit like that.
Yeah. And on the server, it's just raw data. What data is necessary in the moment. and it
hell's
won't
that?
access all the data all the time because it doesn't need to. And that's also linked to the server meshing.
Look at that weird
Uh,
situation here.
How so?
Pyro 5.
Okay.
It's not an orbit, but it's pulling in Pyro 4 right here. They both have a bunch of moons
Read
with
the
them.
history. Read the history.
I don't know. I have not read that specific one. You know?
I think it.
Tell us.
I think it was the moon got pulled out of orbit. And
Well, it's
brought it in.
being pulled in by this one, right? So,
Mhm. Yep.
But they each got their own moons, so it's got to be a very busy spot with celestial
Well,
objects.
there's a lot of celestial objects, but whether or not people hang around it
Depends on the amount of resources and value it presents.
Oh, it's
Yeah. I mean, the thing I love about Star Citizen is that it's huge. The potential is endless. The thing that as a gamer, for the number of years that I've been gaming and the different type of games that I played, I realized that it's a lot of
Iron sulfide.
wasted stuff because people aren't going to be there, right? You played WoW. How many people congregate in one location and everything else is empty?
lava oceans.
And that's exactly what's going to be going on with Star Citizen. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's just going to be sitting out there that's never going to be visited.
Lakes of
It
hydrocarbons.
potentially will be. Right. It potentially will be. And that's good because it gives people the option to explore content that isn't explored. You know, it's also good that it's going to be on a cloud-based server platform, which means if nobody's there,
Obsidian.
virtually it doesn't exist.
True.
So they're not spending
exists.
money running like on WoW. All of those
All those
areas in
things.
WoW exist simultaneously throughout time, throughout the life
It
of the game. They're
exists,
always running.
It exists in a what do you call it? On a SSD somewhere.
Yeah, in a
stored.
container somewhere waiting for that to be streamed in as someone enters a jump point or something of that nature, and then servers can spin up and spin down and do all these crazy things. So, you know, I think I thought you were going to go this route, and this is my line of thought on this. The thing that really is awe-inspiring and captivating about Star Citizen is that it's so big. The thing that's frightening about Star Citizen is that it's so big.
So big.
The thing that worries you about it being doable is that it's so big. The promise, and I get where the naysayers develop their mindset. The promise of what Relum was just showing in that star map, it seems to be an insurmountable task when you sit back as a layperson just looking at it going, how the fuck are you actually going to do this? Like, really, how are you going to do that? It's crazy.
You just
It's
noticed
doable.
that all of these moons
It's
are named.
doable. Absolutely.
They have a different language. They all. It seems like they all have the name fire, but in different languages. Ignis, Adir, Ur, Vatra, and Fuego. Fyro.
I mean,
Do you
they
remember what
they have a
Chris said?
really cool group of people that are building out the history. They obviously
lore.
have a really good imagination.
And if you read the lore behind Pyro, it's relatively uninhabitable
You read
because
lore?
of the makeup of the star. It cooks everything. The radiation or whatever that's going on with that star.
Yeah, it's a flare
it-
star, yeah.
So you just get bombarded with radiation and get cooked like a chicken in the microwave. The question
That's
is,
fun gameplay.
is the freelancer going to be solid enough that I don't get cooked?
I was just thinking that very same
Extra
thing. It's like,
strain of
what
shields.
ships are going to be able to go there and survive,
The
and
Carrack.
what ships are going to get roasted and kill the pilots?
Is that a thing?
I hope so.
You know,
I
if
think
you take the
may-
wrong ship to the wrong environment, will you get cooked? Will you die?
I hope so.
Will
This
it,
is where
will
the
it be
Gold
that
Horizon-
you can't go to the most inner parts of the solar system, closest to the flares.
But the outer parts are.
Relatively safe.
No, there's a protoplanet
makes
out there.
sense.
It's just one planet.
Just that dynamic is incredible and would be cool. You have to worry about where you go, right? It's one of the things that they said. You're going to have different type of spacesuits that you have to put on because in the different environments, one will save you and another one won't.
This is the outer planet. Suffers little damage from
So
the distance.
how many systems like this will we have at launch? What did he say? 6 to 10?
Back then when they were talking, it's been a while. Things have progressed a lot since then. So,
but the amount of fucking detail that they're putting into even Stanton seems a bit ridiculous because you're talking about caves and you're talking about events and missions surrounding caves
but modular, procedural. Even Tony Z has said all the missions and all that other stuff is also going to be somewhat procedural, where it will take different elements from all these different things and bring them in to create unique experiences and missions and stuff like that. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that they'll have more than 6 to 10 systems when they're ready. I think they can pull it off. I mean, like I mentioned this before, it says if I was in charge of building out the planetary systems with the SOLED tool as it is right now, they can build out all the systems. It's just a file with data.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They can build out all the systems, all 100 of them, have their locations all marked out and all the moons and all that other stuff. And then when they're ready, fill in the information and boom, done.
Well, Gribb said a few minutes ago that he would like to see them just implement more systems and then with the moons and the basic just the base functionality, and then go back and do things to them after the fact, which I agree with and I disagree with because we're currently playing a game that has done this.
And it hasn't been fun.
It is fun, but you can see what's not there. You can feel what's not there. And it makes it feel like a shell.
Yes.
So it's a trade-off. Are you willing to accept it says that it's live, but it's not really a full game? I don't know how well that would play out for them or not. I mean, every other fucking game developer's doing it, so
yeah, but they have more at risk. They have more on the line.
CIG does. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. All eyes are on this fucking project because of us. And Chris. For sure.
Yep.
An update on the stretch goal progress. I don't even think that they consider that anymore. I'm not even sure. I haven't heard shit about stretch goals at all.
Well, they don't do them anymore, but have they been working on them, right? So we have to go through them. And
most of the shit I think is done, actually.
To some degree or another.
My theory, okay, Grib, my theory for Citizen Con, jump points.
God, I hope so.
Pyro. What goes with that? The Carrack. The trifecta.
No, because then they would have to have exploration in place.
How are you going to find a jump point? Scanning. A certain
okay.
type of scanning.
Okay, considering that they were talking about scanning in one of the previous, actually the previous Star Citizen Live, or just Inside Star Citizen. Yeah, okay, I'm cool. I don't think I would love it to happen. I'm not entirely convinced it'll happen. You have a very compelling argument. I agree with you. It makes the most sense, and it's hints have all been there leading towards that. I just don't know. I don't know.
Two things. Well, three things. The Googles from the jump point, subscriber, right? You got to be a sub to get those. Actually, I think that there are people that download
That's
the entire
just a
jump point
picture. Yeah.
and put it up somewhere. It used to be a thing that people would download it and then repost it somewhere else so everybody could see it. I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody knows where it's at. Not even an inkling of Squadron 42 in that sitcon schedule, and I think that that's probably intentional. And the data surrounding Squadron 42 might be really limited, because I think they're getting down to the home stretch, and Chris and his wants everything to be this big grandiose surprise when you first open the game and you're just blown away and you can't believe that you've ever lived without Star Citizen and all this other shit, you know. I could see him not saying too much, really. And then Dirk says we should be seeing another pillar talk. If it's a fucking pillar talk this time, instead of that shit that it was the last time. Because I'm still fucking salty over that. Because that was not a pillar talk. That was an excuse fest. That was fucking duck and cover bullshit. I didn't
Can I
like
reach
that.
the next galaxy?
Can you?
Oh, here's an interesting thing. They're going to be covering armor archetypes.
Look how small and
Instead of
insignificant we are.
Everything you ever wanted to know about staying protected in the verse.
See how it all ties together?
It's tying in. It is.
And also, Grib, I can see that being the case. I can see the release of Squadron 42 directly tied to the next CitizenCon.
Next year?
Yes. That is their theoretical launch date, or their beta, maybe beta at that point or something of that nature. But I could see it would only make sense, and it would be brilliant marketing on their part if they would tie that together and make it a fucking stupid CitizenCon.
Absolutely.
Like stadium size bullshit instead of the, 1,000 tickets or whatever.
We got a bunch of cheap people.
Fuck no, they do it in Texas. That's where all the millionaire backers are.
If they do it in Texas, well, but that exclude. You know what? They need to do a dual CitizenCon.
Wouldn't that be crazy? They need to do one in Detroit so I don't have to leave.
If they release Squadron 42 next CitizenCon, they need to have one in Europe and one in Texas, because Texas is kind of central to the U.S., kind of a little bit, and have it as a Squadron 42 launch party.
But I think Grib is right that the next one is scheduled for Los Angeles, which would make even more sense, because then you turn CitizenCon into a red carpet event, because that's where all the fucking actors are.
Oh.
They're all in Cali. So imagine a CitizenCon with fucking Hamill.
And now the British actors would be in the UK one.
UK. But they all go to LA all the time anyway, because that's where all the shit is. So
that would be fucking awesome.
Imagine a red carpet event with all these fucking A-list actors.
Derek Smart's head would explode.
Yeah, it's not releasing next year. Well, we'll see.
It would be the cherry on the top if they were able to pull that shit off. That would be the cherry on the top.
It would really be Chris Roberts' big double fuck you to everybody who's been giving him shit for a decade.
Yeah.
I hope he's successful just for that guy's sake. The same way that I think that I hope that Elon Musk is extremely successful. I don't get anything out of it. I like the underdog stories. So I would like to see the guys who are getting kicked down all the time fucking rise up and end up on top.
That would be fucking awesome. That would be epic.
Well, somebody said Hamill was tweeting Squadron 42 something.
He does that all the time, or every once in a while. Somebody will mention something, bring up the game or bring up Star Wars and compare it to something else, and he'll throw Star Citizen in there. I mean, his Star Wars career is pretty much at an end. He's dead. He's a ghost, right? So
Well, he's coming back in the next.
now he's got but he's as a ghost, right?
Yeah.
And in that movie, once that's done, there's no reason for him to ever be in Star Wars ever again, because
that's good, because he's got filming for the next how many years with whatever you call it, not the epilogue, but the episodic, the Squadron 42 shit.
So that's his next gravy train, right?
Mark Hamill
So to
doesn't know
speak.
what planet he's on.
Yeah. So if you like Mike Hamill, but you don't like environmental fruitcakes, don't watch his Twitter.
I don't like his politics, I can tell you that, but that's a totally different story.
So in other stories, so but talking about fruitcakes, the Swedes
Oh, Jesus Christ.
have made a biological computer.
What does that mean?
It uses very little electricity, but they've made it so that it's capable of using extremely low currency power wattage to get molecule to move through a membrane, and it's basically molecular level, not atom level. So it still has a way to go, but they made a prototype, and it's based on proteins.
So organic material.
Yeah, basically it's an organic, potential for a computer, and it uses extremely low power. That's the reason for continuing development.
So androids coming soon is what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that
Like the dude from Aliens with the white blood.
Once they get to scale this to a usable size, you can get a power structure that is way lower than anything rival today.
So
we'll start using human beings as batteries.
Yeah,
We don't know what
some
that isn't happening.
At some point, we might be able to be that.
Perfect.
The Matrix was created to let us know that that's actually what's happening to us in a way that we don't realize it's really happening.
And why do you think that they're so encouraged to produce and incentivize people to use virtual reality? Put these goggles on and lay in this bed.
Yep.
And you're going to generate electricity for the real world.
Yep.
And we'll just pump you full of fucking some sort of protein-enriched saline solution.
You have to have that guy on the show once. I haven't seen him around for a long time. Grok Keys. You remember that?
Yes.
He's in the game. It shows me. I've got him on my contact list, apparently.
You got friends you didn't even know you had.
Yeah, but I haven't seen that guy around in a long time. Does he even stream still? He used to stream, right?
I don't think I followed him, so I don't know.
That was a long time ago.
What was the other one? I don't want to get the guy's name wrong. Twitter.
He streamed or not, Star Citizen? He's playing it now, though. He's making a video.
Oh, we got Free Fly next week, starting Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to be able to find a tweet in a timely fashion.
Oh, now I know who they're talking. I don't know who you're talking about.
Was it?
No, Grib pointed out that he was ill, and now I remember who he is. I never followed him, but I know who he is now.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, One of the gray market guys died.
I don't what?
Loan something.
We already talked about. Remember, we talked about how many Star Citizen backers will die before this game is out.
A lot.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands.
I don't know about
What's that
that.
number?
That seems a little high. But yeah,
Statistic. If we say that's X amount of million people, right?
I think it's what, 2 million people?
Yeah, and it's going to be increasing as we go. Let's say that by the time the PU launches, and the Squadron 42 is successful. There's going to be way more players involved waiting for the PU because of Squadron 42. We're going to talk about literally hundreds of thousands of people dying in line for Squadron 42. But this is just general statistic. I don't know why people think it's grim. It is.
We talked about this the
statistic.
other day, right? The science and biology dictates that your brain functions in a way that you cannot think of yourself as mortal.
Or anybody else for that matter.
Everybody, all the bad shit happens to somebody else. All the death happens to somebody else. And your brain, as a protection mechanism, kind of subverts those thoughts to keep you from being in a constant state of depression based on the fact that you're going to die.
It doesn't happen to you, and it does. According to your mind, it's not going to happen to you or your family.
Thinking about that stuff anyway.
Exactly. Because
that's why it exists.
The end reality, exactly. The end reality is all the same. A hole in the ground, or ashes, or whatever.
You are born for one purpose: to die.
What in the literal fuck? Is that France? What the fuck's going on over there?
What?
Crazy shit happens when you open Twitter and you see what's going on around the world. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I haven't opened Twitter today.
Good, don't. It's toxic. I'm just trying to find the cat's name, and I know I wouldn't be able to find his. Anyway.
The Twitter Lexus. I haven't seen them post in a while. They used to do gray market.
Oh yeah, the logging out in your bed works flawlessly too. Most that I've seen, it always worked. Cross servers, even, because that was the idea. So in fact, when I played the game, I've tried to, not waste time going back to station every time to save your ship, because you don't have to. So usually just park in the middle of nowhere or somewhere down on a planet in the outskirts and just log off there, and it works. Saves time too. Because even if you were...
It's one more piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, because even if you were on your way to, say, on the other side of the system, it might take a while to actually jump there. So if in the meantime you have to do something, or I don't know, log off or whatever, you can do that. You can just abort and travel the rest of the way another time.
Remember dipshit?
Who?
Derek Smart.
Yes.
So there's a see if you get this one. So you the queen of bullshitters, the embodiment of scammers, and the personification of the rot that has sickened the Star Citizen community for so long.
That's funny.
And if you
have to
didn't
be
get
following
that,
politics to get that.
I didn't know Tulsi Gabbard played Star Citizen.
Everybody.
Where is the Benny Hinge nowadays, anyway? People say
It's
it's
in the
still
asteroid
there,
field.
but well, it's still there, right? But there's no
Yes.
way. I mean, the journal pads are still around. You can still see. I think I picked it up even. So you should be able to see it. So the journal pads are still around. Yeah, like here, vending machine theft case file. So the story kind of still exists, but there's no way. There's still no way you can actually properly track it down and locate where it is. I think, right?
There's the. I don't know if the beacons are still there that help you track it down.
Well, yeah. I don't think so though, because that was all based on the pre 3.0 asteroid belt of Yella. It was very small, back then. You could
Oh, so now
you
that
could
they changed
circle
it,
the
they're not
moon.
there.
You could circle the moon in like a couple minutes. That's how small it was, and they put that in at one point just because it had a lot of asteroids, and occasionally when you went around, you could hear these. You could hear these the Big Benny music. You could hear it in the distance because you were getting close to one of those antennas that was broadcasting it, and those antennas then had clues which direction the Benny Hinge was. Right, I think that was how it was done. It was not something that was actually active mission or whatever. It was just you had a journal and you could try and look for it, and if you were lucky, you could find directions for it. But I mean, the belt is so much bigger now that it seems like almost impossible to even locate it. You don't know where exactly it is.
It's probably the same distance from Grimhacks. You just have to find it the one time, and then you'll know where it's at all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably information of it online, but I was just trying to figure out, trying to see if there was a way to do it yourself. It's kind of, and that's kind of odd. That the thing that I see in the game chat a lot as well is that a lot of people are always like I can buy and sell this stuff and trade it along, and people always just say, oh, just go to Versmate or just go to this or that website to check out the prices and to see where you can buy or sell it. What happened to try and figure it out for yourself?
The
died with the
internet and
internet.
Google.
Yeah, but I mean, you still have to kind of refrain yourself from doing it. It's not. I mean, it's still your choice to try and go online and try and find it.
People's choices
boring?
are to make as much money as quickly as possible because they feel like they're
And
accomplishing
then it's
something.
being wiped anyway. So
Well, eventually it won't be wiped.
No.
And again, it goes back to people are looking for the quick, easy way of making money to feel like they accomplished something in the game.
That's how you end up dead or in jail, by the way. The quick, easy money. I don't know. We were talking about that yesterday. We were playing with some players that rush through games.
God, this bug
You
again.
see that they rush through games? Like, here's the question. Do you watch the cutscenes in a game that has cutscenes? Like
Yes.
if you
Yes.
go to a mission giver, do
Story
you
mode?
sit and watch the do you participate in the story of that game? Or do you just hurry up and skip through it to get on to the next thing so that you can get the loot and get the money and blah 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 blah?
Jump down.
I even read the text.
Different kinds of players, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know, and you're going to have the same thing in Star Citizen. Some of these people are just going to be like Innovis said, how am I going to make the most amount of capital I can right off the bat? Bam, I need all the information right on my phone. Let me just get my phone. Let me get my Star app out because somebody's
And
going to
then-
make it. Well, it'll be a thing once what isn't there
Like
a commodities
spectrum,
app?
you know.
There's
Not yet.
already 5 people working on separate projects just for this purpose when the game launches.
Yeah, Texas
So
Skulls is the first one that started and built that one verse app, I think it is, that most people go to. And then there's other people that are just jumping on board and doing the same thing. It's like they want a database where all the stuff is, but to some degree, right
And
now,
we're all
it's
going to be
okay.
using it. We are all going to be using it,
Oh, yeah.
including Junto.
The thing is,
The difference is we're not in a rush. We use it as a tool, but not to rush. We use it as a tool so that we don't have to spend an ungodly amount of time getting the information. But we'll still watch all the cinematics. We'll all take our time when doing combat. We'll all take our time setting up. There's no rush. It's a game that's going to be there for years and years. So what's the rush?
But the thing about the tools right now is that it's all static data, right? So
it's not dynamic at all.
It's not dynamic yet. So that's all going to change. Granted, certain places are always going to need the same resources, right? If you're a shipbuilding factory, you need the same resources to build the ships. So that's going to be a gimme. It's just how much they need and how much you're going to make at the time, right? Supply and demand. If they have enough resources, you ain't going to make squat. If they don't have enough resources, then you can make a killing.
how
Right?
far
Those are
out
the
of-
things that those tools aren't taking into account yet.
Sure. How far out of the way do you think that CIG is going to go to prevent people from doing this API scraping bullshit?
I don't think
The
they're
dynamic economy is going to play into it on its own, but all that data is still going to be on a database.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So a lot of people, they do code mining, right? They go in there and they open up this and they grab a lot of the information. That's only part of the picture, right? And a lot of people base their assumptions and their speculations on that information, and it doesn't tell the whole picture. And so when they say this is the best ship because it does this much DPS, they're not taking into account all the other factors, right? So a lot of that stuff should always be taken with a grain of salt. When it comes to resources and stuff like that, you don't have to data mine, because the reality of it is that someone just has to put a database out on the internet and people are populating that information. That's what they're doing with Texas Skull stuff. It's a tool. People are putting in the information, and then that information is being aggregated or provided on a search, and people make their determinations based off of that.
I do believe
CIG
they
can't
will allow
stop that.
data mining. I do think they will allow data mining, and they are making API for this purpose. I believe that. I have no doubt. Why fight it?
I guess.
That's my point. Why fight it? Because by the time you can buy something,
people are going to do bad shit
but
anyway.
So it's not bad shit. So look at it this way: how long does it take to get from A to B, system to 3 systems away? Is that got done in a hurry? Are you going to be able to exploit this system unless you invested massive resources in renting storage and having resources all over the fucking place? No. You will not be able to, by the time you've gone to a certain location, prepped for the mission, got the ships going, got the escorts going, bought everything you need, taken the transport and your convoy, going to the fucking place you're going over, which might take you a few hours just to get there. And you're now going to try and sell it for that maximum profit. You might already be 4 hours too late because the price has changed again. It's dynamic. Because what you're doing, everybody else will be doing.
Why are you rolling your eyes?
I always roll my eyes.
And then one of the other things too is that CIG, they have said that they want to have tools available to the community based in Spectrum, right? So that you can, most of it is like communications, right? Where you can communicate with your buddies and stuff like that. But you should also be able to gather information about different things. What level of information they're going to give us, we don't know until they get to that point. That's still they first got to get the
Not
damn
having
game
to-
built before they even
not
get
having
that.
to log into the game using a tablet, using their app to be able to, assign a ship to somebody so they can lend it from you, or the org can lend it to them.
Mhm.
Stuff like this.
Yeah, I was hoping we could have already done that with the 890 jump when it came out, but no.
That's not
And
there
other than
yet.
that, Rico actually melted that thing.
No, I have one,
but-
so whatever.
But
Um,
it's not important at this point. I can't say that.
Yeah, but that was our 890 jump.
Oh boy.
You know what killed World of Warcraft?
I funded with crowdfunding money.
Simplifying it.
Wowhead.
Oh yeah, Quest Helper.
Because you didn't have to experience the game. You would just go to Wowhead and it would tell you and show you screenshots and everything about everything. And then once Blizzard said, well, everybody's using this fucking
Well, that was still
resource
so much
anyway.
less an
Let's
effort,
just
right?
put that shit in the game. And then from there, downhill slope for that game.
Yeah,
I
no, but
think
that
the-
Wowhead wasn't the problem. It was the problem them putting into the game. If you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
I mean, the whole thing with websites out there is kind of still like, yeah, okay, websites are out there. People still have to alt tab, use a browser to access that information. But the moment when someone built that Quest Helper app in World of Warcraft and it did everything for you, you had access to that information about where all the targets of the missions were inside of the game. So you really didn't have to do anything. You accepted a mission and all the stuff was there. And the fact that they actually
really
built
broke
that
that
into
game.
the game, then that add-on was just like worked into the game
That's
later.
going to be
It's like,
impossible though
okay.
in this game.
Yeah, well, because no mods, most likely.
Yeah,
no
well,
mods.
not only that, but it's most of the missions going to be dynamic. Even the ones that is for everybody, a lot
Sure.
of them is going to be dynamic. The enemy's not going to be in the same place. It's going to
Not the
be
same enemies, not
skill.
the same skill levels. Sure.
not the same place, not even the
Right.
same fucking planet. Sometimes, right? Not even the fucking same system.
I wonder, that being the case, if that is just an ease of development strategy, or if they actually thought about some of this stuff that has broken really good games and said, how do we circumvent that bullshit?
I think it's just Chris Roberts saying, "I've played an MMO and it sucked."
It's just too damn easy.
Because
Like,
everybody's
holding your hand.
standing around the same NPCs all the time, doing the same thing, attacking the same mob over and over, right?
I think it was originally for ease of design and implementation. The benefit is that it will curtail that kind of.
Did you
gameplay.
see some of the screenshots they posted when WoW Classic dropped of the queues of fucking player characters in these crazy ass lines waiting to get to kill a boss? Like hundreds and hundreds of players in a fucking line, because when you're like level 7, everybody has to kill the same fucking
Oh, it
boss.
was
And
kind of like the same during
everybody was
every
level 7.
expansion pack release. It was like
Holy
the first day.
shit.
What was that? What was that dog that you had to kill on the Alliance side? I forgot his name.
Alliance. I didn't play Alliance, you fuck. Hard for life, bitch.
Whatever. Yeah, there was some kind of cobalt that you had to kill, and it was like, who got to him first? Who got to him
Hogger.
first? Hogger. That's it. Hogger.
Oh, Hogger.
That's funny. Dirk knows like that.
Is that a little?
See how ingrained that goddamn game is in like the culture of gamers, though?
Oh yeah.
I hope to God that Star Citizen has that same effect.
Remember,
that people
it
are so entrenched in it.
12 million concurrent players, subscribers. At this highest point, it was 12 million subscribers. How does it not influence the gamers in the world?
Actually, I think it was higher than.
Did I get hurt or something? My saturation is going down. It's just this area of space. Yeah.
Oh, 12 million. At its peak in October of 2010, the game had 12 million subscribers.
That was Lich King phase, I think, right?
And what was it? $10 or $15 a month? I forget.
It started off as $8.99, went to $9.99, went to
$13.99.
$12.99, and then $14.99 or something of that nature.
$14.99 at 12 million fucking people or accounts.
Ka-ching.
Oh yeah, billions a month. A month.
Now they use all that money to sponsor these Koreans and these in these tournaments, or whatever, and China, of course. Security post breach. Oh, let's do that again.
He likes that one FPS mission they got going on there.
Well, I could do the same ones at Hurston with all these dumb outposts, but those turrets are around those outposts are kind of hard to hit from the sky. It's kind of impossible, actually.
EverQuest was something, man.
Yeah,
Because
but
I
you guys not
remember
have phones.
like getting 45 minutes of sleep to go to work. And just doing that constantly. And then like one day just sleep for like 20 hours straight because you're just a fucking zombie. God, that game.
Because it was a challenge. It was a challenge, and you had incredible goals that you wanted to achieve, and the only way to do it was to play the fucking game.
I remember a couple of years ago they were building that next game, and it was canceled.
Yeah, EverQuest Next. Yeah.
They had this this demo out, or this alpha stage of building stuff for yourself.
Well, WoW
crafting.
killed it. WoW killed EverQuest.
Well, it killed Guild Wars and all kinds of other games that had decent potential. I played fucking Dark Age of Camelot for a while. That was a pretty good game.
No, people
I never
Guild
played
Wars.
that one. I wanted to try that one.
It was pretty good.
Because that one had a lot of PvP elements to it, right? Because
it was
you had the different factions.
PvP.
Guild Wars 2 still exists.
Siege Wars and shit like that. It was pretty good.
Oh, slide fest. Just turn your butt towards.
And boost.
Yeah,
Overheat
it actually
your
works
thrusters.
kind of well. You see that it's a lot faster than I would normally do if I had my nose forward.
Camelot Unchained. There's
What?
just so much shit in the gaming realm.
One ship there is probably abandoned, like it always is.
Probably dead.
Empty seat. Owner. Oh, the owner's still. Ooh, it's got cargo inside. Look at that. Human food. Gasping wheel eggs. He's doing that mission with the. Oh, whatever. He seems not criminal, so I'm hoping if I go in and
He shoots you first.
he won't kill me.
Hmm.
Well, there was a guy earlier today that I met here, and I actually used the voice comms. Voice comms work, and you just say, "Hey, I'm friendly."
Don't shoot me.
Don't
Steve,
shoot
you know
me.
better. There's nothing pro about the base radio whatsoever.
Pro?
You know better.
Pro what?
He said
Pro? What's that?
Major League Gaming
MLG
Pro
Pro.
gameplay.
Let's see how I suck at this. Someone's already killed 6 of them. 5.
Well, you're gonna get rewarded just for
Killing
being
2.
there.
Oh, that was a player. You killed a
No,
player.
that was
That was the player.
Fuck, how you can't tell.
You can't.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Oh,
That's
and there we
so
go.
crazy.
Clear hostiles done. He's killed them for me.
Now you're next. Be
Reach
careful.
7K.
How much-
No, I'm getting
how
out
much
of
He's
here.
did
like, I'm out of here. Time to go, guys.
I
See
made money.
ya."
I'm gone.
I made the same
Thank
amount
you very
even if I would have killed 7. Doesn't matter as long as they're all dead.
Yeah, do you even use the VoIP feature?
I did. Yeah. You can,
You can say, hey, motherfucker, don't shoot me.
well, I don't
But
need
that's
to
gonna
go
be a
into a
thing.
situation
It's
with
going to
him.
be when
I
you
don't
go
have to.
into a situation and you're not supposed to kill everybody, just specific targets. You will have to have target recognition.
The nice thing now is that apart from when they first implemented it, everyone's always connected to the proximity channel. I mean, I can already hear the people are whining about, oh no, PUBG spamming voice chat, and
Yeah, well, that's going to change, I think.
but I mean,
when,
it just needs to be.
you're gonna have
open
to be
by
able to-
default.
Yeah, but the PUBG thing is because you're all stuck on a plane
Right?
together,
Yeah, it's because you're all
and
waiting for nothing to happen, right?
yeah, and you have a captive audience. Whereas in here, usually you're only with the people you like, and everybody's going to be spread out, so you don't have to put up with it as much.
Hopefully.
Unless you got an idiot that like blasts his radio. Through
that shit was so bad on the plane in PUBG.
I can do that with
It
the
was
base radio.
so
Yep.
bad. That's what you should do, is just stay at Korea and blast the base radio.
This is our station now.
You need a boombox.
You need a jukebox
So you
to
can put
be
it next to
working.
you, just drop it there, and be broadcasting.
Wasn't that Jared actually once? He made like oh, look at that! I got the mission. Someone's trying to hack into it right now. No, wasn't it like Jared that once made that Spectrum post about trying to figure out that the old subscriber flare was broken? Stop the network intrusion. There we go. This is a
I'm not
PvP
sure what
mission.
you're talking.
Well, there's a lot of hanger flare and subscriber flare around there that doesn't work at all. Like the
the hangers are
whatnot.
the hangers are they're outdated. They're old stuff.
But
They're
all
not
the
gonna
flare
keep those.
supposedly wasn't just for hangers, you know. Oops.
Yeah, but right, that's where they were putting it. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Took off a wing. Yeah, the hangers are pretty much dead because they even said that the old hangers are not compatible with the modular system that they're doing with
No.
the ones that they put in the major landing platforms and stuff like that. So I wouldn't put much into the hangers and whether they work or not. It's like most people barely even use it.
Not right now, but I want my expandable hangar via the room system that was fucking promised to me.
Yep.
That could have a map room and all this other fucking shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
talked
got
about
that
that the other day. I want that too. I'm like, where's the expandable hangars? Where's my rooms? You weren't paying attention. Someone shot you.
What
That was from the
hell?
opposite side. He was moving too much. I missed him.
But this is what we
That's-
talked about,
That's
remember?
what,
Co-op.
yeah, that's what he
You
was
need to
talking.
have people looking in all directions.
And that guy was doing the whole WDS thing,
Oh,
moving
shit.
around and stuff like that to avoid getting hit.
That's
This
a
is
problem.
nice.
Bug free. Call an exterminator.
I'll just kill myself. Yeah, right. Okay. It's not interesting anymore.
And they go, you guys still play Star Citizen?
You guys don't have phones?
No. No, I don't. I logged in on 3.7. I traversed the universe to get my fucking multi-tool, my backpack, my other shit. I went to the caves. I mined some shit. I made like 40 grand and I logged out and I haven't logged back in.
Yep, just try the feature once. Make sure you like it.
Does it work?
Be
Yep,
done with
it works. Call me on the next feature update.
Yeah, so what did we say? Smooth. There needs to be some repeatable things we can do that's enticing, and the FPS needs to be working, and combat in space needs to be working, and yeah, we need to have some sort of easy to come back into the group when you're kicked back to blue screen or to Windows.
That's why medical chips are going to be important, because they're going to function as spawn points.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're going to be logging out of your bed anyway.
It should be fun to play together. It really should. But what I noticed, like, when Roland was trying to kill that dude, was that wasn't the guy who was moving too fast. That was sync issues. He was porting.
He was porting, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't shoot something that isn't there. And you were stationary, so whoever shot you was like, oh, look at this headshot. Missions need to pay more than $1. We could have minimum wage in fucking Star Citizen. I heard Bernie Sanders is a fucking senator on Terra now. I need to make a living wage.
Musical preference is a sign of high IQ.
Who the fuck said that?
So a study that implicate that people listening to instrumental music like ambient, classical, smooth jazz, big band, and some film soundtracks indicates that, and like it, that prefers that over other stuff, indicate they have higher IQ than normal.
Okay.
I'm calling bullshit.
Remember, we discussed that a higher IQ doesn't mean smart. If you have high enough IQ to go into, let's say, Stanford or Harvard or any other of these places, and you come up dumber with less knowledge than you had when you went in, you're not that smart anyway. Remember?
You know what I think?
Mm-hmm.
Is almost every study that comes out now is flawed. Because they all present
Isn't that given?
It should be a given, but we fucking...
But it is funny.
We put a lot of validity into this fucking crap. A new study finds that freaking, anal sex is good for your bowel movements. No, it's really not. Thank you very much.
How many times have they changed how good coffee is for you?
Dude, everything. Oh, don't eat the butter. Eat the fucking
twice
plastic.
a year.
Yeah.
Don't eat the eggs. Eggs are
twice a
killing
year.
you. Wait, no, you need the proteins in the eggs.
And the fat.
Don't eat fat. Don't eat saturated fat. Eat trans fat. No, wait. Trans fat is killing motherfuckers. Eat the saturated fat.
Don't eat cow fat. It's bad for you. Wait. It's not bad for you, but only if you eat it in combination with all the carbs and sugar we're trying to give you.
Fucking nonsense.
We're just switching ship.
By the way, remember, we shouldn't be eating meat to save the planet. We should eat more.
We can go down that road.
We should be eating more grain because that's way less environmentally dangerous.
It's like, you know how many
it's completely
you know how many
opposite.
animals you're killing by eating meat? Oh, I said, you know how many animals you're killing by eating vegetables? You know how many animals die to clear farmland so you can grow fucking soy? Please. I get it. Eat your bacon and have a beer and screw everybody else. I can dig that. Fuck it.
Yep.
I'm eating steak because it's eating your grass.
I'm protecting your vegetables.
I'm giving you the ability to eat your vegetables.
Everything is good for you as long as you're not excessive about it.
I've had 2 sets of bacon and eggs today.
That's excessive.
No, that's good. It tastes so
How
delicious.
does your left arm feel right now?
Mine? Good. Better than last night. Last night I had 1 hour and a half at the local gym downtown. Then I brought with me, some of these. Had a big, a double of that, and then poured it in. Went to the bar and had me a very expensive cider.
At the gym?
Oh, after
You were
the gym,
drinking
of
Monkey
course.
Brain at the gym?
After the gym.
I
On the way
like
to the
that
bar.
idea.
Yeah,
A
it's
bar in a
perfect.
gym. I
No,
need to open up a
it's
bar,
just-
a gym bar.
Well, that should really be how it is. Why should I have to walk, right? So, after I was done at the gym, after I had my very expensive 1/2, like a pint of cider, which cost me what? $12, something like that. I was
What?
insanely expensive. Yep. It's just crazy expensive. And this is Norway. You know what? And by the way, I come back to that. Then I, sat there and enjoyed it because it was really, really, really fucking good. And the taste is so that you don't have to drink a lot. It has so much taste. It took me about an hour to drink it down. But it was really, I just put on the audiobook and enjoyed myself. I couldn't stand the other people there, so I just ignored them.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. But you know what Michael Bublé said when he was, he's very good entertainer, and he talks a lot during his concerts. He said he thanked all of us in Norway for paying for coming here. There was 17,000 people there. So now he can afford to buy everybody a drink in Norway. So he can afford his crew.
Oh my god.
It's crazy expensive here. It's obviously a joke, but still funny.
We're done.
Oh yeah,
No.
sounds like you're done.
Well, you were doing that.
You
With
just have to start
with a
talking
statement
about
like that.
drinking
Start talking about something else,
alcohol.
What, you don't
Roland,
drink beer?
what do
no
you
You know
got?
more?
how much that
Citizen.
is Star Citizen related. Just imagine how much alcohol you're going to need to stand certain people in your organization.
Remember when we started this show? This whole show revolved around 6 people just
Getting
getting
drunk.
drunk,
When?
including you. Rollum would be 4 beers.
Is he legal then?
No.
Was he
well,
legal?
in the Netherlands, I think they can drink at 8 years old or something like that. It's crazy.
Eat. Yeah.
Whatever. Ugh. Now he's growing up and everything. He got his hair cut. You don't see him drinking so many beers. Or maybe he got a job and he's got to buy him
He
himself
got a
now, so they're
job.
expensive.
No, it doesn't even taste that good.
Or he has to get up in the morning to go to the job. Maybe a little bit of both.
There are no proper
No,
orgs yet,
yeah.
Folo Stan.
No use
It's
drowning
all-
orcs. I saw some people
all
in the
bullshit.
game chat actually trying to recruit. Are you an orc yet? Are you an orc yet? Would you like to join this, that? No. Orc. Useless.
Just a fanboy organization. That's all it is.
Yeah, well,
There are some that actually.
there's a couple that are
stuff.
doing shit in game and stuff, but most of it is still in the theory crafting phase about how great everything's going to be for them when they start cornering the market and all this other bullshit.
Nope.
No, but alcohol is going to be required. Most definitely.
Depends
And just the right amount.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah, it
getting
really-
messages to join their org, and then after a year, it's dead, the org.
Well,
Maybe even
something like
faster. Sooner.
somehow somebody figured out a way to fucking spam invite people and took advantage of that and inflated their numbers beyond compare to the point where They're just a shell with all these people that have no idea who is who and who is what and what is going on.
Don't the numbers also apply to the affiliates?
Mhm.
So you have all these people that they have one org and they join a second org as affiliate or whatever. That
You can
inflates their
filter it
numbers, right?
out if you really want to know the true numbers and shit.
Something like that.
It's the equivalent of standing in Orgrimmar, or what was the Alliance capital where everybody hung out? Stormwind. And paying 100 gold for
Stormwind.
org signatures.
Yeah. Because you want that guild bank to hold all that shit.
I don't know why, but I have sorry for the bad link, but I really have an inkling to go to Mississippi.
That's a big ass. What the fuck?
What now?
It's going on there.
What am I clicking?
That's fucking special right there, dude.
Corn dog hell.
America, motherfucker. What the fuck?
It's beautiful.
It's like he's made that bar in the back just for them.
Probably has. Oh, the base has an org. That's right. Join us. Yeah.
Yeah, you can affiliate yourself with the base radio and pretend like it's something special. Or not.
Or not. We don't really care.
Taking it.
So let's get out of here.
Out to
And then,
trash. How rude. How rude.
When you no longer can fit in the regular seats.
That's a good point.
Is that even allowed? What to do there?
Fuck no.
Oh, I didn't think so.
But the policeman's going to go look at that, and then he's going to go try and look at this doorway, and then he's going to look at the women again. He's going to like, fuck it.
Nothing to see
He's
here.
going to need an ambulance to
Fat
move them
Americans.
away from there.
The cop is looking at that stuff saying, I don't want to fill out this paperwork.
Right, exactly.
I don't want to touch
Like,
this.
it's not worth it.
Natural selection. That's all I got to say.
It ain't working.
Hell,
It ain't working.
How did they
That
get on
stopped
that?
working a long time ago.
That bad then.
those bed bars roll up. So I don't know.
That's America on its own, right? How did they get on there?
That's classic Americana right there. Fuck.
Right.
It's not that it's not that, what do you call it? It's not that hard to imagine, because the bigger a country get, the more people you get in there, the more of everything you get.
Mississippi.
That's a valid point.
Yep, it's a tough
very
argument
valid
for everybody that's telling everybody else how to operate their business and shit. When you start comparing these crazy things, you realize that the scope and scale is not even close to being workable.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean everybody should do like we do in Norway, right?
Yeah, everybody should pay 60% tax.
No, 80. What do you mean 60?
Cheap bastard.
Can't
60%
pay
tax
everything.
for weaklings.
For Canadians, we're Norwegian. We pay 80% tax. Or was it 90? I don't remember.
Let's go.
Think about the good shit you
time.
get from that 90% tax.
Relum obviously has an agenda. He's probably got
Not really,
or
but
something.
whatever you're actually
He
doing
doesn't like
still.
us. He doesn't like us. That's his agenda. That's fine.
He hates it when we start going near politics or any of that other stuff.
We're interacting with chat now. Folostan said he says 150% tax in Sweden, but To tells me that he goes to Sweden to buy alcohol because it's cheaper than it is in Norway.
Yep.
How does that work?
The alcohol tax in Norway is 150% tax is cheap.
That wouldn't go over well in Texas, would it?
So, imagine that you buy a bottle of bourbon. Let's say it costs $10. By the time it comes here,
Right then.
it's usually $35. And that would be the absolute low-end brand you can think of for any such brown liquor. Normally, we pay anywhere from 50 to 70 US dollars for brown liquor in a regular bottle.
Speaking of taxes, didn't they say that in Star Citizen, the organizations would be able to apply taxes on their members?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you
That's
think
going to be
bringing
interesting.
up taxes?
That's
you're
going
How
to
do
be
you
that's
think
gonna
a
be
blog
fun.
is supposed to go around? This is standard in every fucking MMO since the dawn of WoW.
No,
WoW
I
had
don't
guild
remember.
taxes.
Yes.
Some of them
Did
did
they?
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well, didn't apply-
You never
I
noticed
guess
it
I
because
didn't apply it.
if it works the same way in Star Citizen that it worked in WoW, you would set your tax rate at 5%. And every time someone collected a reward, 5% of that would go into the guild bank. And you never
That's
missed
right. I remember now.
Mhm.
Yep, I remember now.
So it's not anything new to MMO shit. I think tax has become the nasty 3-letter word that nobody wants to hear about it because it's
You might
fucking
as well
taxes.
You know why taxes
Yep.
never change? Because some politicians do like this, some politicians do like that. They all increase or they decrease, but the amount of tax paid stays like this.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And it goes like, small increments, but it stays around 19%. The effective tax is 19%. And now that's how it's always been. Always going to be like that. What happens if you increase the taxes too much? People move their money offshore. It's not illegal to move your money offshore.
And if you
You
make
just
it
have to
illegal
pay
to
for it.
move the money offshore, then they just move and take all their shit with them.
Yep, they just move physically out of the country.
Yeah, that's funny. That's what people don't understand about all that kind of crazy shit. Tax
Rich
the
people
billionaires
have
and shit.
choices.
Yeah, exactly. The poor people are stuck where they're at, and the rich people can do whatever the fuck they want, and they will do whatever they want. They'll buy
And
Bolivia.
that's why they get away with it.
By the way, do you know how many people that actually pay positive tax? That pays in more tax than they get back from the government.
In what country?
United States. That's an example, since most of you are from there.
It's about 70% pay zero taxes.
Yeah, so a slight part of the upper middle class and the
Yep.
rich pay. So it's a very small percentage that actually pay a positive tax. So when you say that you want to make sure that the rich pay their fair share, they've always paid taxes. You have technically never paid taxes if you make under, I don't know what is it, $150,000, $160,000,
It's like 178 or some shit like that.
Yeah. If you have never made more money than that, you've actually never paid a positive tax bill in your life.
I get all my money back.
Yep, me too.
They borrow it and then they make interest on it, and then they give me back at no interest. It's crazy. It's a hell of a scam.
In Norway, it's different. If you get money back, you get interest on it.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, maybe we need to look at the fucking Scandinavian model. Jeez. Look, I make a bunch of money like that.
I gotta have something for paying 90% tax, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, before some people say you don't pay 90% tax, we're of course talking about everything laid on top of each other. the tax that the corporation pays, that we pay, that is, down forwarded down to us, etc., etc. Then you have custom taxes, and you have VAT on top of that. So the VAT comes on top of import, and the import comes on top of the goods price and the value of the shipping. So, it's tax upon tax upon tax. And then you pay tax on your salary. And then if you, for some reason, have leftover money and you have more value than less than a house,
Pension.
you get taxed on the money you have. So they
Sure.
tax you for
A wealth
for
tax.
having money. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a wealth tax.
Yeah.
So 90% tax,
So spend money.
80% tax.
Well, and that's the way that the system
Enticing
is,
it to spend money.
is
Perpetuating the
created
economy,
right
yeah.
now. Exactly, to keep the economy flowing, because it's all about GDP. It's not about how much wealth the individuals actually have. It's about how much money is exchanging hands on a daily to yearly basis.
Even if it wasn't that,
So-
it's still kind of used to sit on it anyway, right? First, to some extent. Money.
And even the government does this. The rich take on, let's call them fake mortgages, where they have to pay fake interest, so they get tax deduction for something they don't have to pay. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Norway does this because we technically don't need to have a national debt, but we have incurred a national debt that allows us to write off certain things, right? So the country does this, the company does this, the rich does this, and then they allow us to do it similar, but nobody gets to write off everything if you're a poor person, right? You need to be a very rich person to be allowed to write off everything.
Yes, we're done with SC, Miami. We've been there like that a half an hour ago. Oh, an hour ago. Where's the gate? I'm looking for the gate. I think it's down over there. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Is it a
Actual
30,000?
30K. Yeah.
No shit.
Wow.
Is that a sign from the gods that we need to end this stream?
Maybe, or
Sure.
Miami Bad's starting to get anxious because we're talking
No.
about taxes and
He
shit.
made the server crash.
It's not my fault that our conversations go over your head. You don't understand what we're talking about. It's not my fault.
Oh boy.
That's true. Gold is kind of worthless in Star Citizen. You don't get a big profit off of it.
So, are we going to talk about the policy when we encounter gold farmers or cash farmers that's going to be selling gold slightly cheaper than CRG is?
I don't think
They're
that's
gonna be
going to happen
selling money?
because right now they sell money on the site.
Yeah, they're
You
going to
can
sell,
go
they're
to
going to sell it
CIG.
slightly cheaper.
Well, I think that was why they implemented that buy UEC on the site bullshit in the first place, was try to get us accustomed to that being a thing, to circumvent the whole currency farmer or whatever the hell.
But
You wanna
know
call
that
them.
if it's possible to make money in the game and to sell it,
Well, the black market's a
will be
perfect
done.
example of that. They
It
buy
will
ships
be
and
done.
limited ships, and then fuck, man. I remember when some of that shit was 250% of the market value. Some of those ships, the stupid Vandul ships, were
Yeah, that
crazy.
went 10 times, right?
Yeah.
They were going for. They were originally sold at $300, I think, and they were on the
Way over
gray black
3,000.
market, whatever you call it, up to as much as 3,000 at one point.
And the sick part is,
People paid it.
motherfuckers were buying that shit. That's nuts.
Imagine being the dude that spent $3,000 on a Vandal site.
He must have really wanted it.
It's probably still
They're
private.
rare.
Look at it this way: if you have money, if you have real money, enough money, so
Yeah.
that $3,000 pocket change, it doesn't matter to that person.
That's true.
Yep, that's true.
So if your dad is an oil millionaire or whatever it is, or you are,
There are guys
it
that
doesn't
have
matter
some
to you.
fleets that are absolutely ridiculous. Where's Miko?
Clifford.
Yeah, but
He-
he's
he-
got like a
he-
couple
oh, he's-
completion at packs.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you know,
he's got
that's the
tons
reason
of
we have.
money, and he
We no longer have the highest status is not to have every ship in the game. Now you have 2 of everything in the first big package, but the new gold standard is to have 2 of those packages. So it's not enough they've spent $15,000 on the game. No, we're gonna make you spend another thing so you can say you're the top dog. So now you have to spend 15,000 more.
Well, they raised that fucking
I know
Legatus to
people that
27.
spend more than $84,000.
Well, they didn't raise it.
dollars.
It was
they introduced a
requested
new level
that,
underneath.
that was my point. Was remember $27,000, and that was like the fucking buzz all over the place. Now it costs $27,000 to play Star Citizen. What the fuck is going on and shit? It's because people like Miku wanted that, and he's not the only one. There's like
They want the status.
a shit ton of people
Well,
that
it's,
have.
It's not the status. The thing is like the condensing it all into one package is more manageable than having all those ships individual in your hangar.
Just waiting for
When
you
you
to look up.
have 100 ships and you have to scroll through all that shit versus going to one package, it makes a difference. That's why they were asking
Still-
for it. I don't think anybody really wanted to pay 27,000 or whatever for a fucking package.
I think there were some people that wanted to pay 27,000 because I talked to
Those are
Cliff.
idiots.
I've talked to Clifford, and he just wants to fund the game. You know, he has the same
And
dream.
they want their name
Yeah,
to
well,
mean
that's
something.
true.
They want the status on top of that. They
Oh, fuck
I if you have $84,000 left over and want to spend it on this game, thank you. But you
Yep.
still want the status.
I don't doubt that at all. You know, you get your name inscribed on the fucking wall of fame at the CIG Los Angeles right before the earthquake hits and fucking rocks that bitch down into the
Fuck
ocean.
that.
Scuba said the Cliffy pack.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that bought that goddamn package or multiple of that the Legatus packages. You know,
Yeah, but if you have $84,000 in game and you call them and say, "Can you please comprise this into a package or a few packages for me?" You know what they're gonna say? Of course, sir.
Mm.
You want one more package?
That is true. People do that in real life too. It's the same thing. It's
Mhm.
literally the same thing. It's like car collectors that buy a bunch of cars and park them in a fucking barn, a pole barn somewhere, multiple pole barns, warehouses. Fuck, Jay Leno's got warehouses full of cars.
And you don't have time to drive them all.
Doesn't have enough time to drive them all.
I don't think he even wants to drive them all. Just wants them all there just to
They're mine.
to have them.
They're mine. They're like Pokemon. Got to catch them all.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I really,
I'm a
really
collector.
fucking tried to watch Pokemon with the kid, and I can't. I have to physically leave the room
one?
after 2 minutes.
Oh my god.
Is there more than one?
Yes.
Maybe it's a more than one.
There's more than one
There's
series
like
of
100
Pokemon.
series
Yes.
or something. Jesus Christ, yeah, that thing was way over.
You
its,
know where my interest stopped? At 0.
So you were
Right.
watching the first.
It's a good thing
90s
that
one?
you and I both do not know how many series of Pokemon there are because I have no fucking idea.
I have no idea either. It's
And I don't want to know.
Remember that fad where they were all walking around with their mobile phones, walking out into streetlights, into, hitting them, walking into cars, walking into the road, getting hit by cars, all trying to find
Pokemon
fucking
Go.
Pokemon Ball, whatever that's called.
Pokemon
Is
Go.
that still around? Is that still a thing?
mhm.
I
Well, it
think so.
exists, and yeah.
It's not as crazy as when it first came out, but yeah, there are a lot of people that are still doing that.
Boy.
I never understood.
They need
It's-
a
it's the
phone
co- it's
with an
the
app
co-
and a
it's
game
the
to
collector-
get the fucking ass moving out.
Well,
There were
that
people
did help. It did
complaining
help
online
people
that the
exercising.
game forced them to move.
Yeah, that's funny.
Pokemon Go
But
Stampede in
the
Central
thing
Park.
is,
That stuff
is
happened.
it's one of those things where people collect things, right? It's a thing about owning stuff or whatever, and so it's a type of addiction. Oh my god, that was at its peak.
There's a Snorlax
It's
in Central
one of
Park.
those things where
Everybody,
In Central Park, New
Jesus
York.
Christ,
the Snorlax
crazy.
spawned.
yeah, rare, I guess.
The motherfuckers are like running over each other and shit. Get out of my way! I gotta get this fucking.
And they're all fighting
Oh, the
for
poor
it
grass.
to catch it, I guess.
the poor
Oh.
grass. Where's the cattle?
I'm just so confused.
People like to collect things. Everybody has some kind of thing that they collect,
fuck that.
right?
That right there is a fucking mental illness, dude. Fuck that.
Yes.
That is
It's
like
an addiction.
That is
It's
not,
an addiction,
that's not-
collecting
that's,
things.
That's not right at all. That's just
That's because you guys don't
borderline.
collect stuff. Well, no,
We
actually,
do.
correction.
You know what it's called?
How many weapons do you have,
Guns.
Juntao?
How
How many weapons do you have?
More than one.
Okay,
But he doesn't have to
I'm
have
sure
them
T.O. has a
all.
bunch of weapons too.
He
So
doesn't have to
everybody
have them all.
has
I
a
have
different.
officially have 0 weapons. Just so somebody knows.
Okay,
I
but
officially have no weapons.
people collect things. Okay, people collect things, and so
Yeah, but
everybody has
you have to have
a
them
different
all?
thing to collect.
Do you run like that?
Some
when you
people
when you go
do.
to the store?
That's
Some
hilarious.
people do.
Look at
Some
that. Do
people
you
do.
run to that? Do you
It's-
think you see Jantel running like
But-
that to go to
But
get a
that's
gun?
It's
no,
Black Friday all over again.
Maybe.
It's the same thing.
maybe if it was a rare gun that he wanted to have and it was located in
He's
one
not
spot
gonna
and he had to
he's
go
not gonna
to
be
it to
running
get
like
it.
that. He's gonna say,
Well, he's
"Fuck
not
it."
going to be running like that, but he's going to make an effort to get there and get the weapon,
And
right?
he's gonna see the
So-
crowd like this. Is gonna like, I'm going back.
But that's because you don't.
Running
That's
away.
because you don't. know- You're not into the game aspect of it. You're not into the collecting. You're not into. So that seems extreme to you. It seems extreme to me too.
You
But
know
I
what
understand
it seems
it,
to me
right?
what this is? You know what I think this is? This is
What?
literally
Mass
Okay,
Yes,
you're
I
filming it. That's funny.
psychologically, this is a whole mass of people that have 0 purpose in their life that found themselves a purpose in a collective.
and they
Yes.
spend money to do it.
That's what I think that is.
No, that's free. That's free.
Collecting them is
Pokemon Go.
I'm
yeah,
a problem because I pay. I pay
Buy these
Have
for
no
all
video
my
ships,
ships.
right?
Citizen. Yes.
Wasn't there
I
a
have an
premium
issue.
thing on for Pokemon Go where you could pay to get some advantage, whatever?
You buy
don't
the
know, I didn't
balls or something
play
like
it.
that, right? You buy
Yeah,
the
I
little
didn't play it.
Pokeballs that would catch the Pokemon for you or some crap. I had a friend at work that was doing that and got in trouble because he wasn't working because he was driving around to all the hot spots collecting fucking Pokemon. And they were
Yeah,
like, dude, you're this far from losing your job. I hope your wife knows that she's not going to have health care next week. Look at that. It's fucking crazy.
I would imagine stuff like this
It's like
actually
a,
even
it's
over.
like a riot.
Yeah.
It's a Poke riot.
Does it overtax the data?
Well, This goes back to what you were saying about EverQuest, right? How addicted were you to playing EverQuest?
Really bad. Yeah.
Right?
Really bad.
There are people. I heard the stories. I met people that got divorces, lost everything, right? Their jobs,
Oh, yeah.
because they were obsessed with playing the game. We as human beings will always have some kind of addiction
Yeah, but do you see
issue
that
with something, right? Some people take
the
drugs.
problem isn't that
Other
there's
people
two
have
dudes
addictions with other things.
The problem is there's not 2 dudes that are doing that. There's the whole fucking street going like bananas.
Yeah, because they were all addicted to that game. There was something about it. 12 million people addicted to WoW,
Right.
playing WoW continuously. Right?
Playing WoW.
But they
and
did it in
people
their
will say
home
to the point where
instead
their
of
kids
going out
starve
into the
to death.
street.
Yeah.
Well,
True
12 million
stories.
people wasn't
So,
addicted.
okay, 9 million of them maybe, but they were addicted. You
Whatever.
didn't see that.
I
They didn't go
love
out into
your
the
science
streets.
on that, but go on.
They didn't go out into the streets. They were at home doing it, so you couldn't see it. The only difference between that WoW or EverQuest and Pokemon Go is that they actually had to get out and they had to congregate in one location to get the item that they wanted. But the addiction is something that everybody has. It's just what are they addicted to? That's the different.
I'd rather be addicted to sex.
And
than
how to
Pokemon
what extreme did they
because-
take it? Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that.
Remember, when we're talking about this, we understand the effect that
fuck
make
is in
people do stupid shit. And yet, it's kind of like when you come to a place, you see this many people doing the same thing. What separates you
Right.
out from the crowd is the guy that say hell no, turns around and go the other way.
I'm being summoned. My show is over. Here.
Finally.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Tell her
Wave.
to get
We're already
inside.
started an hour late, at least for you then.
Oh, Tio said come
Yeah.
and say hi to the internets. Oh, geez. Are you wearing clothes?
Yeah, we are late. That's an interesting dinner approach.
Right?
Come to dinner. I'll make it.
Okay.
Junta said we're moving.
Yep.
What? He's
We gotta
closing
go.
the show out. Relax.
Goodbye.
woman. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Finally. Goodbye.
Come on.
Goodbye, people.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Around Discord server.
Just flip the
whatever.
switch. There you go.
Yeah, come on.
I support the monkeys. Do you?
Too late.
Check out The Base.
All right.
24/7
Go.
online radio. Oh, yeah. Visit us at TheBase.sc. They're professionals.